Hey YouTube, Ben here, and I'm sitting in front of a dark tank and I'm going to talk to you about lighting. Does that make any sense? My tank is dark because I just learned a lesson about lighting. What I did is I bought an LED light, and it seemed like a good deal, and when it was working it was doing a great job. But then it abruptly stopped working, and now I don't have lighting. And I had another light, a very good quality light called Coral Life, and I sold it. I sold it on eBay, got a good price for it, but now in hindsight I kind of wish I'd kept it and had a backup light, since what I'm using right now, until the lights I ordered do come in, I'm using a shop light, which gets very, very hot, and I can only use while I'm feeding the fish. So what I learned was this. I mean, the quality of a light very often has to do with its ability to withstand the effects of water. In my tank, there is a lot of surface agitation. Even though I've removed one of the two power heads, because I think in hindsight it was a bit of an overkill, the outputs from the 704B, the Sun 704B, and the FX were really creating enough agitation on that side of the tank where I didn't need to have a power head there as well. So I have one power head on the far end of the tank, and then the outputs of the canisters on the other end. And that's creating a lot of surface agitation. When you close the lid on a tank, you do get a lot of humidity buildup. Well, you would imagine that a fixture designed for aquarium use would be relatively watertight and wouldn't necessarily be affected adversely or very, very quickly by being exposed to water or being exposed to humidity, the buildup that might occur between the lid and the surface of the aquarium. So that being said, I've gone ahead and, after conducting some surveys at the Aquatic Lounge, at Tank Talk, and at my group, the ben.o.cichlid on Facebook, the general consensus in mating, in matching up both quality and value, the consensus seemed to point quite heavily to Beamswork light fixtures. So what I've done is I've gone ahead and I've ordered two 36-inch Beamsworks, and this way, if one of them ever does burn out, at least I'll have some light in the aquarium, as opposed to ordering one 72-inch unit like I had before. And if when that one burned out, I ended up with a shop light lighting my aquarium. And so I've ordered the Beamswork. I'll have them here in a couple weeks. I'll do a review. Actually, in a few days I'll have them. I'll do a review on them, and two 36-inchers, and I'll have the connectors at the middle of the tank where I have the most glass coverage. That way, the areas that have the inputs, the electrical on and off switches, will be protected the most from any splashing that might occur from water movement. I picked up some full spectrums, about 5,000 lumens, should be enough. The reviews were pretty consistent that they were able to light very, very completely a tank that's 24 inches tall. So I'll be trying out the Beamsworks lights. In the meantime, the light fixture that I had before was an Aqua Neat, and I'll show you some pictures here. You'll see at the end of the video how the plug-in that goes into the light, which, by the way, when it was working, was a beautiful light with its reds and greens and really good penetration of white light, completely lit up my tank very, very nicely. But if it corrodes and becomes unusable after the end of the 30-day warranty, corrosion will usually take a little bit longer than 30 days to really take its full effect. So the warranty was kind of useless. If the light is where it plugs in to the light strip, if that is not something that is corrosion proof to a certain degree, then the light, of course, becomes very worthless very quickly. With 236s, I'll have a little bit more protection from water, but I'm thinking that the Beamsworks are going to be a better made light than the one I picked up from CCL Pet Supplies off of eBay. So I'll show some pictures at the end. What happened, the actual plug-in jack became completely corroded and unable to really allow current to flow through. And but I am sticking with LED. I do like LED. I do get a lot of compliments on the T5s that I have on the 60-gallon. People ask me pretty frequently what kind of lights are those, but I do like the way the LEDs make the colors in the fish pop. All the fish are doing well. The Phrostochromis rostratus, the sand diver that I brought over here to the 135, has really taken to the tank and is actually diving into the sand. He seemed a little more tentative in the other aquarium in the 60, maybe because I have shells and things of that nature. But in this larger aquarium with the aragonite sand, which is a soft sand, which is very good for fish that do a lot of sifting, like a lot of African cichlids do, they don't get irritated in their lips when you have a good quality aragonite. And so he actually dives to get a mouthful of sand. He actually takes a running start, as opposed to most of the cichlids, which are over an area of the tank and then simply scoop up some sand. He actually swims and then hits the sand and then scoops it up and spits it out. A lot of fun to watch. So I'm really excited about that sand diver. Before ending off, let's take a quick look at the 60, the juvie tank, and you can see how everybody is doing there. And so I can at least have just very briefly a tank with some lighting, since the intention of this video initially was to talk about lighting. All right, thank you so much for watching. Let's take a look at the 60 real quick. Here's the 60 gallons. You can see everybody is doing great. And you know, here's some noise in the background. My daughter has some friends over. And here's our hawk doing very well. One of the dolphins, two of the dolphins. Livingstone, T-reef, Taiwan reef. Those little 3 for $10 Venusis are growing very nicely, as you can see there. And the VC10s are doing great. And the beautiful Super Red Empress that I featured in my last video, you can see him there, continues to look very good. Great looking fish. High hopes for that guy. Tetrastigma. There you go, looking good. And the Fusco is putting on some good size, as I expected. He was a little small to start. The Linny looking great. The Linny recently has started resting on top of this little power head over here. He just sits on top of it and rests there. It's actually very funny, very cute. And so there you have it. Probably the next time you see this tank, all of the plastic plants, like this one here, the fake Paphos, the little fake $1 jobs from PetSmart, the pink plant there, those plants will probably be out. I think I'm going to go to all Java Fern and Anubias in this tank and just attach them to the rocks like I've done with these here. John Stoney. Being chased around by the boss. Good looking fish. Okay, that's it for now, folks. Thank you so much for watching. You're very appreciated. And sorry about the rant, but I really like this light, this Aqua Neat light. But now what I have is I have a 72-inch paperweight, completely worthless, and the vendor offered to give me a discount on another light, and you know, I just don't like throwing good money after bad. Why would I spend more money on this type of light when it's already proven that it's not good? Here's, you can see here the jack. You can see the jack, the way it just completely corroded. And more or less just popped out when you unplugged it. Really, really a letdown. At any rate, we'll see. Beams work. Beams work gets a lot of good press. So I'm looking forward to getting that light. Just did a little water change here. I got a little bit of bubbles on the side. This tank is doing great. Sorry, I've got the light out. All right, folks, that's it for now. Thanks for tuning in.